I'm sorry. Oh God, I was in the cinema with a friend recently to see something I'm going to talk about in a moment, and the trailer for King Arthur, Guy Ritchie's King Arthur with Jude Law and Charlie Hunnam and so on, came on. He was like, "Oh man, this should be badass," and I was looking at there going, I know you. I don't want to say no, no, it doesn't. This looks fucking abysmal. As in, I've never seen anything more crude and artless and trashy than the take. Again, give it the benefit of the doubt. You can make a good film out of anything. The the avenue they have driven this King Arthur reboot reimagining down is ghastly. It's just abysmal. It's like they're trying to. And again, I want to. So part apology to Guy Ritchie in that I've never been a Guy Ritchie fan. I've
I
never think
haven't.
I hate really hate on a kind of moral level his early Guns and Geezers films, Snatch and Lock, Stock and Rock and Roller. I find them just really kind of sleazy, geezery. They're the films that people I hated in school liked,
Yes.
and I think that says more about them than it does me, to be honest. Like, not to paint myself into a good light, but I think that. But
Aw.
his Sherlock Holmes films
We're terrible.
weren't. To be fair, I'm going to say I don't think they were bad personally. I don't think they were great films, but I thought they were passable, smushy, blockbuster fare. I thought they were fine, and fine for Guy Ritchie, to be honest. With films like Revolver in his belt, is that's basically Citizen Kane for him. For me, the both Sherlock Holmes films I thought were totally passable, decently entertaining films. But they also had this air of sleaze and of slickness, like the slow motion, basically giving Sherlock Holmes, reducing his great intellect to slow motion fighting. I thought was really boring and reductive, and just a kind of whiff of that kind of 300 level of
Yes.
machismo action filmmaking. I thought that was boring. But this, God, what do you think of the new King Arthur film? I mean,
I've
how
watched it a few times, and I am struggling to remember anything from it.
the
Other than
trailers and stuff.
yes, yeah. Other than the whole sword, the sword just seems shit.
The sword seems shit.
Like the way it
You heard
stood
it
in
here first, guys.
the.
The sword.
Just the way this whole like, oh, the rock has the water levels dropped and the sword has risen kind of thing, and then this dude just pops along and just pulls it out. It's they sort of they're not sort of doesn't seem like they're centralizing the whole King Arthur and the sword thing around that. It's more around it's this kid that's coming back to
But they're
claim his
just trying to
throne.
make it so slick and manly and modern in such a kind of disgustingly commercial way. I don't know. There's something about even having there's this shot in the trailer of him kind of like punching himself like a guy psyching himself up for battle, but in a really kind of like you'd expect to see Colin McGregor or something doing. There's a big old whiff of the nasty side of like UFC culture to it in
Yeah.
a mental way, in a way that I just don't understand how I can be saying that in the same breath as King Arthur film. It seems more to do with the aesthetic around like pre-game hype of UFC than it does of mythology or ancient history or anything like that. It just seems a really kind of gross, crass, like I say, artless, charmless version of a film no one really needs anyway. I don't know. Again, we'll,
I
we'll,
can't
we'll
imagine anyone was sat there thinking, "Oh, I'd love to see another King Arthur film."
after the Clive Owen one. I to be honest, like I don't hate that film. The weird thing about that one is it's got hell of a lot of good actors in it. So okay, you got Clive Owen, you got Keira Knightley kind of padding out the front, but then you got everyone from Ray Winston You've got what's his name, Joel Edgerton in a super early role, who I never even realised. Obviously, not Tom Hardy in Warrior and so on and so forth. That guy. You've got Mads Mikkelsen, who is more and more becoming possibly my favourite actor on the planet right now. It's the kind of breadth of kind of character actors that went on to be huge deals in that King Arthur film. The one by the Jerry Bruckheimer produced, which had a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean in its DNA because it came just off the back of the first Pirates of the Caribbean film, and they sold it on that whole that whole wave of new interest. Yeah, you had Johan Gruffalo, whatever his name is, the guy. I can't remember his name. Is Lancelot? He was the
Gruffalo.
Yeah, kind of that, like Jan Gruffalo, whatever his name is, the guy who plays the Mr. Fantastic in the previous two.
Yes,
Fantastic Four.
I have a vision.
That guy. You had Ray Stevenson, yeah.
There's two of them.
Ray Stevenson as one of the guy from Rome and stuff like that. Like I say, you had what was it?
Harry Potter.
Wasn't it Stellan Skarsgård as the bad guy? Basically, it had a fucking showreel of great character actors. It's like, so yeah, not a great film, but quite entertaining with enough kind of character beats in it that made it passable. But yeah, I don't know. No one's needing this film, is my point. Yeah.
Might be the best film we'll ever see.
It might be.
It won't
We've got
be.
to give it. Yeah, we've got to give it the benefit of the doubt. It might be.